And I had heard, you got to go to Bangladesh. You won't believe it. So we started travel. We flew into Dhaka, the capital city, and we traveled south. And at a certain point, he said, "Oh, I want to go to this place." And I said, "Well, I wanted to go to another place." So he said, "Well, why don't we just split up, and then we'll meet back in Dhaka, where we were staying at an ashram there." So Bangladesh was never really governed much by the British because there's too many rivers. And you mean, yeah, besides having railroads, you gotta have bridges. So they didn't bother. So they made their base in Calcutta and didn't really go further east. So everything is by boat. So we catch a launch. I catch a launch on my way back to Dhaka. So it takes off, going, it's really beautiful, you know, going on the river in the launch. And I'm wandering around, and then at the back of the boat, I see a band, a kirtan band. You know, they've got drums, harmonium, a violin. And, you know, when I was a teenager, I played in rock bands, so I could relate. It's a band, wow. So I went up to them, and I knew a little Bengali because I'd been studying, so I spoke to them. And yeah, they were a band, and they were on their way to a festival. Really? Yeah, there's going to be a big festival. There's going to be, you know, 6 kirtan groups there, and they're going to be doing it for a big 3-day non-stop festival for 72 hours. Wow, all right. So we were chatting, and then all of a sudden the boat comes in. People get off, and they say, "Well, this is where we say goodbye." And they got off the boat, and I watched them walk across the field towards the village. Other people were getting on, and just as the boat was about to shove off, in a mad impulse, I leaped off the boat and ran after them, which was probably the best thing I ever did in my life. Well, when we got to that village, it was a big festival that the person was doing it for, as in honor of his departed father. It was an anniversary. And so he sees this white guy come out of nowhere. He considered it, thank God, it was as something auspicious. So he gave me a room, because I came with that kirtan group, he gave me a room with them. And then we were all invited to take, it was late afternoon, so we took a meal, and then we went back to our rooms. So my room was adjacent to the band. So then they kind of got their instruments out, and they started to sing and chant. So I had a tape recorder. So I recorded it. This was the first time I ever heard Raga Kirtan. And it was at 8 o'clock in the evening, which is the time for this raga, which is called Jai Jayanti. She doesn't have senior moments. It'll happen to you too. So, and then after they finished playing, everyone took rest, but I stayed up practically all the night listening to this on my headphones. I was just like amazed. No one's ever heard anything like this in the West. Would you like to hear that?
Sure.
Yeah.
So the mantra they sing mostly in that part of the world is the Maha Mantra. It goes Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And it usually takes about 30 seconds to do a mantra, and then the crowd responds. But this mantra took over 5 minutes just for one mantra. It's in the Drupad classical style, which is an ancient style of music, which nowadays you'll hear sarod players and veena players play, but hardly any singers do Drupad. Still in India they do, but they don't travel and sing in the West, as far as I know. So you're going to hear this Drupad style of kirtan. It's called Raga Kirtan. The melody's called Jai Jayanti. And we start off alap, which means no rhythm. But when she comes in, you just follow her gradually, step by step, okay? Hare